Good morning, good day, and good evening. Welcome to East Bay Insiders TV. I'm Steve Tavares. Fremont is knocking on the door to becoming one of the Bay Area's most influential cities. With me today is Fremont Mayor Raj Salwan. Mr. Mayor, welcome. At the first State of City last month, you talked about Fremont becoming one of the big four cities in the Bay Area. And of course, the other three are San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose. So, Mr. Mayor, how do you plan to get Fremont into this conversation?
Well, first, I want to thank you, Steve, for having me on. You are truly the undisputed champion of East Bay politics, and I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Yes, right. Well, so I truly believe Fremont is already part of the conversation. I mean, we are ready to lead. We are a city that's focusing on results, and I think that's very important. We are the second largest city landmass wise, and we're the fourth largest population wise. And there's some things that we do in Fremont that are unique to our city. And I think we can be part of the conversation and help share some of the best practices that we have done in the city of Fremont. We're not here to point fingers or, scapegoating or blaming. We're all about results. And I think that's what we need to do in government is how do we achieve results and get things done for our residents? A lot of the stuff that you see in politics is performative, like a lot of virtue signaling and hoping, but not actually doing something. So for us in Fremont, we're a little bit scrappy. We like to get on the ground, and we just want to get things done for our resident. In Fremont, we are blessed because we are a very safe city. We are an innovative city. We are the number one manufacturing city in the entire state of California. We are sustainable. We have great small businesses, beautiful parks, great public schools. So we have a lot going for ourselves, and we really feel that we can add to the conversation with our fellow colleagues all across the Bay and perhaps share some best practices. We're willing to learn, and we're also willing to share what we're doing well. So we're looking forward to that conversation.
You mentioned manufacturing. How is the uncertainty, the Trump administration policies hurting you guys, and how are you guys at least trying? There's a lot of uncertainty, means there's nothing set in stone. So how are you guys planning in Fremont?
Well, we kind of have a twofer. One, we've got Elon Musk who owns Tesla. So, he's been very active and he's taken a beating publicly as well as his company. So definitely we're concerned about sales tax. And so we're not sure exactly where it's at. Second part is the tariffs. We have so many of these like servers and, things getting built in Fremont that is increasing the pricing for a lot of these companies. And so that creates uncertainty. So some of the folks like Lamb Research, some of the other bigger companies, they wanted to expand in Fremont, but now they're thinking, well, maybe we go to Mexico so we can bypass the tariffs or other places. And so it kind of hurts us here locally. As you know, in business, you want certainty, you want predictability, so you can figure out what to charge people and what you can build. So I think it's definitely unknown. So we are waiting for the next quarter, after the September quarter tax returns come in. That'll kind of give us a better idea. Are we down 5%, 10%, or is it like a lot more? So definitely it's a huge challenge right now. And in a city that builds everything that has the global supply chain all over the world, definitely we're greatly impacted by all of that. So we're definitely concerned.
Right. Now, you and other mayors in Alameda County have been very vocal about receiving quote unquote your fair share of Measure W sales tax money from the county. And so Measure W was a half-cent sales tax measure passed in 2020, and it's a general use tax. So everybody to explain it, meaning the county could use it for anything. However, one of the questions here in the debates is that when it went to voters, that it was placed as for homelessness and housing. So that's kind of what we have going on now with $700 million in the pot for people. So could you tell us more about how did this get started, and how did Fremont, and you've kind of led this issue of how are we going to get our fair share, to explain of some of the upsides, downsides of this whole situation.
Well, Steve, as you know, cities were never meant to tackle, homelessness by themselves. And City of Fremont and many others are doing so much. We're doing more and more every year. So we have become a full-on, social safety net for our community. And so Measure W was advertised as a program that would reduce homelessness, build housing, build shelter, address mental health. That's what we all voted for. And so the mayors were concerned that that our money might get diverted for other
Mhm,
causes
mhm,
when we were all informed that this is what it was intended for. So the Alameda County Mayor's Conference is putting together a letter which will be sent out soon. And that letter pretty much indicates that we want to be part of the discussion. We want to be part of the solution. We want to have a seat at the table. We have some projects already queued up in City of Fremont. I'm sure other cities have as well that could be funded. We have nonprofits that want to work on some of these programs, and we know what's happening on the ground. And so we are, truly asking for our fair share. This is something that we are counting on because the need is great. And so I know this is one of the biggest problems we face in the cities. This is also the biggest problem that counties face. And so why not work together? Why not get this housing situation resolved, reduce homelessness, get people out of the encampments, get them in shelter, take care of their mental health, their addiction support, and get them on a path to permanent affordable housing. So I see this as a huge game changer, and I really hope that we get the funding. And in particular, I want to make sure Fremont gets our share, because in Fremont, we have been a responsible partner. We have always done what we said. We have never run away from the problem. We've actively addressed the homelessness in our community. We have built our share of housing. We have uh, over 500 affordable housing units in the pipeline and 800 more in the next cycle. So we are number 3 in the entire Bay Area County.
mhm.
We also have a family resource center where we give services to our unhoused population. So, anyways, the letter more or less will tell the county, hey, work with us. We're on the ground. We know what's working. Please give us our funding. And let's also make sure that there's geographic equity. City of Fremont, for example, is probably one of the higher paying sales tax. In fact, we think we're pretty close to Oakland, or maybe even more. Who knows? And so we just want to make sure that we don't get stiffed in the process. Sometimes Oakland gets a direct allocation, and we feel sometimes that we get underfunded, where we don't get our fair share. So we want to make sure that we get our fair share. We also want to make sure that all the funds that are collected are channeled back to the local cities. And I think we can prove that we will do a good job, and we will be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. So I'm really excited working with our supervisors. We got 2 great ones, Supervisor David Hubbard and Supervisor Alyssa Marquez. We have a great partnership, and we just hope that we can work with them and help solve the biggest issue facing our area, California. I mean, this is not what we were promised. This is a golden state, and we as elected officials have to start tackling and reducing homelessness, fixing the problems, making things better for our residents.
Well, Mayor, thank you so much. It's great to have you on the first official episode of East Bay Insiders TV. And for everyone else, subscribe today, East Bay Insiders. Go to eastbayinsiders.substack.com and subscribe. Once again, thank you, Mayor Raj Salwan of Fremont.
Thank you, Steve. It's been an honor, and look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, man. Good job.
Hopefully at a good Fremont restaurant.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you.